Hey guys, it's day 10, and what I want to talk about today is exit strategies using promissory notes. So, personally, I feel by far that promissory notes offers the best or the most exit strategies to recoup your money or make a profit from. So, for example, let's say fix and flip. The model is you get a house, a distressed house for under market value. You're going to put some rehab into it. You have some holding costs. You're going to hope that it sells in time, and when it does sell, you're hoping that the market goes up. So basically, your exit strategy is hoping that you have gains from your sale. And in worst case, it turns into a rental. So obviously, with rentals, your exit strategy is just hoping that it's always rented out and that you don't have vacancies. So with promissory notes, there's a few different ones, and I had said yesterday that as programs come and go within cities or states, funding for them come and go, sometimes aren't always there. So let's say a couple years ago they had the hardest hit funds in some states that were helping out borrowers stay in their house. Not a lot of states are offering that anymore. The money's not always there, or the programs aren't there anymore. But what we look to do is, first and foremost, when we get these loans, work with the borrowers, we want to reinstate them. They've been non-performing for a while, for a few years, and we just want to let them know, hey, we want to get you back on track. Let's just start where you're at and go from there. So the first one is to reinstate it. Sometimes they fall really behind because of all the penalties, the fees that are added on by the institutional banks, and that's not ours. That's not our problem. That's not ours to recuperate, because we bought it at a discount anyways. They're still liable for what they owe, but none of those fees were ours. So we just tell them that we'll wipe it clean, we'll start a clean slate, and start where they're at. So we want to reinstate it. Now, if we can reinstate it and get them performing for 12 months, show that we have a servicer who's taking care of those payments and that they've been paying on track, we can refi them out. So there's a couple ways we can refi them out. We can refi them out to a traditional bank and get 90 to 100%. We can refi them out to there's another bank that I know that they buy them quick, as long as we can prove that there's 12 months of seasoning, and they'll buy it at 85%. It's just a quicker turnaround. So there's a couple ways of refinancing them out that way. The other way is to sit on it and have positive cash flow for the next couple of years, or however many years are left on that note. So you can keep it as passive income and just have that coming in. It's better than a rental, because with the rental, when your water heater breaks, your toilet busts, that person calls the landlord at 3 a.m., 2:30 to fix it. But when was the last time you called your bank because something broke at your house? You don't. The owners are buying this house, so they're responsible for it. So as the bank, you're just receiving those payments, you're receiving the interest, but you're not receiving the hassles of toilets and tenants. The next one is modifying. Now, there's a few ways that we can modify these loans. And it'd be basically just for a short period. You don't want to do it too long, depending on what the case is, but you can do an interest only. So they're not doing the principal, they're just paying interest only. You can turn around and make it principal only with no interest. You can also modify it down to what the house is worth. So let's say they bought it at 100, it's only worth 80. By just changing the value, the payments will drop down to that. So you can modify that, or you can modify the interest rate itself. So in some of these states, their interest rates are 13, 10, 8%. We can drop it down to 7, 9, whatever's reasonable to help them, but also, again, to be turning a profit. So modifying. You can also do a loan assumption. This was popular a while back, a few years back. You don't see it written up too much now on notes. But if you have again, we're the bank, so we can do what we want to do, basically. If you have someone who doesn't want the house, they can't afford the house, but they say, hey, I have an uncle, I have a sister, a brother, a neighbor, a cousin, whatever, that wants to assume the loan, if we can verify their funds, verify their income, that they can make the payments, then by all means, we can have them just take over the loan and assume it. We can do a short sale. So this was popular back from 09 to about, I think even now, maybe 13, 15. But there's a lot of red tape. The banks weren't going to make a lot of money. Realtors were working really hard on these deals and weren't making very much more than what they would make on a rental. So as the bank, again, we can fast pace the short sale. We can accelerate it. We can accelerate that, and we can agree to it. We already know that we bought it at a discount. We know that we bought it at what fair market value is worth. So we can take that lesser value but still come out ahead. We could do a deed in lieu or cash for keys, and basically that means that these people, the borrowers, they don't want the house, they're going to walk away from it. So we say, fine, we'll give you 30 days, 45 days to vacate the property. If you guys do not mess up the property, then we'll give you some cash for the keys. So it could be anywhere from $250, $500, $1,000, $1,200, whatever you can negotiate. You have your realtor to go in after the move out date, 30 to 45 days. If everything looks good, then you give them that cash and they move on. They sign over the deed to you, and now you have that property. It's your property. You don't only control it, but now you own it. In the instance that they do mess it up, the copper's gone, the AC's gone. You know, they threw a toilet through a wall, which I've seen a lot of times. Then you just tell them, hey, there's repairs that we're gonna have to deduct what we had negotiated, and you take that out of that price. So cash for keys or deed in lieu. Resell the loan. So we can buy it. Let's say we bought the loan at 50%. We don't want to hold it for whatever reason. Maybe something else comes up or we're going to need that cash. So we can sell it to another investor for 60 to 70% on the dollar and just resell that loan. We can wholesale the note. We can wholesale the note to another borrower, someone who wants to do it long term. Just like I was talking about in one of my other videos where I said Bank of America originates your loan. They sell it off to Wells Fargo. Same thing. We can wholesale or resell the loan. One of the things also is foreclosure. So if it goes into foreclosure, we set it up for a foreclosure auction to set the price of what we want paid. If it does not sell, then it becomes an REO. So foreclosure then turns into an REO and we own that property. Side note, if they claim bankruptcy, we still get paid out because the bankruptcy attorneys, the bankruptcy court, we are the first position lien holder on these properties and assets, so we will get paid out even if it goes to bankruptcy. So that's another exit strategy. Going back to if we own the property through foreclosure and it's a REO, now there's different ways we can do it. You know, do we want to keep it as a rental? And again, I want to do another video, but renting when you purchase it through a promissory note compared to renting through traditional purchasing, it's totally different. So in this case, yeah, rentals would work. We could do a fix and flip. We could do rehab, go in there, flip it for 100%, 95%, 90% of what the retail value is. Again, buying through promissory notes rather than a wholesaler or through traditional institutions to fix and flip is a lot different. We can do a lease option, owner finance, or seller carryback. We can bring a borrower in and do a rent-to-own, a lease option for a year. And if they're good, their credit moves up or whatever the reason they can't buy right now, we can get them into a house by doing a seller carryback and offering that seller financing for them, creative financing, if you will. You can live in the house. You can live in the property. If you own it free and clear, either myself or a JV partner can buy the other partner out, whatever our portion or equity is on this asset, and you could buy this house, and once it's in your name or your company's name, you could potentially live in that house. And finally, the last one, it's kind of a way of strategizing. It's a way of doing long-term, and it's in the way that you are going to record the property, dealing with trust and whatnot. But you can put these properties or assets into your kids and your grandkids' names for their future, having them start off when they're 18 saying, hey, look, we bought this when you were 3, 4, or 5. We've held onto this property. It's being held in your name in a trust or however it's going to be set up. And that's theirs for what they want to do with it. So again, today I'm talking about exit strategies. There's just a numerous cornucopia of ways that you can do exit strategies with promissory notes. I love really when we can work with the borrowers, keep these borrowers in their house and just refinance them out. I mean, that's the whole way, is making a business of helping others. Banks usually won't, for whatever reason, or can't help them. And these borrowers are just looking to stay on the property. I mean, they raise their families there. This is their house. We don't want to be kicking people out just so we can do a quick sale or foreclosure or anything like that. We want to get these borrowers reinstated and help them move on with their lives from whatever happened. So again, exit strategies, guys. Thank you for watching day 10. Look forward to speaking with you guys tomorrow.